all. Okay, so we've got the new washing machine. I'm going to do a video of the old machine on do this last wash because I bought this one in preparation before the old one completely packs up. Now the fault with the old one was that the drum suspension, where it meets the outer drum, the hook is basically elongated and eventually it's just going to break through. And it's all part of the moulding for the outer drum, so the machine's effectively finished. It's 10-year-old, it's a big job, it's not worth repairing. So we've got this new Indicet machine. I'm going to show you this. I'll show you the last wash later on, and I'll just compile the video up in various stages, to be honest with you. I haven't seen this new one yet. Our new wash machine has just arrived. What I'll do is unpack it, then I'll show you how we get the transit bolts out the back. Our old wash machine has just done its pre-permanent bit. This is the second last wash. I'll do a separate video for this last wash. This is the one that's getting replaced. I've had it for 10 years nearly. The new one was just delivered about 5 minutes ago. I'm going to take the outer packaging off. New machine, got it delivered today, 14th of January 2025. It's about 10 years after, 10 years after the old one. Instructions, we've done all this before with various machines that we've had prior to this. Got wood. It's just helping with part of the packaging, lots of polystyrene. So that's the machine unboxed. That's all the packaging. Just got to get there's transit bolts at the back to come off as well. I'll show you that in a minute. So there's the instructions in that inside. Spare hose as well. Others is plumbed in anyway. The transit bolts are these. That, and that. They need to come out. So it locks the outer drum, stops it from moving around on the suspension whilst it's being transit. Whilst it's been moved, basically, delivered. So these have got to be taken off. So I've just tilted the machine back a wee bit. I'm going to have a look underneath to see what it's like. That was belt driven. That's the drive motor, the main mover. Maybe you see the belt, it isn't for all the shadow, but there is a belt. Some specifications. The tachometer is usually at the back of the motor. Oh, can't seem to see it on this one. That's for the speed controller, the tachometer. That's the pump, the drain pump. So that's the sump for the bottom of the drum. So the water comes down, just gravity fed into the pump pumps it up and into the drainage system. Presumably that circuit board there will be the module for the motor. See these extensions there going to the back, these white things, that's the transit bolts. They go right through. That's what locks the drum from moving around, well, from moving about in the suspension. That's shock absorbers, that black strut. It just kind of dampens the movement of the springs at the top, because the drum's suspended at the top on springs, and these shock absorbers have got to dampen it, support it at the bottom, basically absorb the spring movements, controls the motor movement on the spring basically. So it's a composite outer drum case. There'll be a weight at the top, that concrete weight will be at there's two of them, that's the lower front one, and there'll be one at the top as well, big counterbalance. I'll just get a bit more of a look underneath here. Just it's plastic. It's not really that quite, I would say it was overly secure, but certainly the motor's smaller than I thought. the heater element there, that's the wiring harness going to the bottom of the drum for the heater element, I'd assume. Can't really see very clearly at the moment. It's the pump specifications. I get the pump filter, this kick plate comes off. This bottom lower panel on clips in order to unscrew the filter at the front of the pump. It doesn't have the separate drain hose, unfortunately, but some machines do. The old one did. The next task is get these transit bolts unscrewed, and that releases the drum suspension. It allows the drum to move around. That's just blocking the drum at the moment. It's stopping it from moving around on the suspension springs. Obviously you couldn't make this deliberate with the drum moving about because it could damage internal components. So they just lock the drum suspension. They just basically bolt the drum to the back until it's time to use, and then you just unbolt it, and that allows the outer drum on the suspension to work freely, to actually move around on the suspension like it's supposed to. So I've got a socket that will fit. It was just best to screw them anti-clockwise, but just do them sort of all at the same time kind of thing, a wee bit on each of them, so it doesn't warp the drum. So it's sort of like just slack in, slack in, slack in, slack in, and it equally unhooks the drum, I suppose, rather than just do it with it. Like, that's probably best to do it diagonally, I reckon. Just saves it straining it, I suppose. As it's slackening it off there, it's still tight there, so it's kind of like warped a wee bit. So if you slacken them off diagonally, it kind of equals it out. Maybe it's probably better doing it that way. So just, I can't really film it at the same time, but you can see what's happening anyway. That just, once this transit bolt comes out, this allows the flex to come out there as well. It's all tucked in during packaging. Bolts are long, just come right out the back. That's the 4 transit bolts removed from the back of the machine. They go right through. The plastic lugs that are still on, I'm just going to look through the instructions to see what the story is with these. That's the plastic bit that comes out. It's quite long. I just pushed it out from the inside. There's another 3 to come out. That's where the transit bolts went through. So I've got the plastic inserts out. They weren't connected to anything, obviously. That was just for what the transit bolts went through. It basically acts as a spacer between the back of the washing machine and the back of the inner drum. This bit screws in, this bit acts as a spacer, this rubber grommet bit's just to protect the back of the back of the machine basically. And the 4 remaining uncovered holes where the transit bolts came out, they just get covered with these caps that come with it. Just cut these off, these plastic caps, and they just push fit in there to cover them up basically. Just twist off basically, that's just a twist fit, twist and pull, and they come off. On the scissors, whatever you prefer, I just twist them off. And quite self-explanatory by the looks of it, they just simply push fit through there to seal off the hole. So just same thing. I'm using my left hand because I'm filming right and right-handed, so it's not so easy filming at the same time. But you get the idea. That's them all in. That's sealed, sealed up, sealed up, and sealed up. Now, obviously, the drain hose. It's been tested in the factory. There's a wee bit of water in it, but that goes into where it gets plumbed in. The inlet hose, which comes with it, Screw onto this valve body. The solenoid will be in there. We've got hoses already. I'll keep this one obviously, but just screw onto the, basically screws on like such, more or less, but it's not getting turned in quite yet. Still got to do one last wash with the old machine. Right, so that's next stage now is just, this just screws on, as I say, onto the inlet. Once it gets, we'll do it properly once we get it into the kitchen. The outlet, it just gets plumbed in. I'll show you actually very briefly on under the kitchen sink where they go. This is under the sink. The drain hose connects up to this stub here, which is the drain. Goes down to the drain. Then you've got your inlet for the water. It's the valve. You just turn that. The valve's actually open at the moment. Still got one last wash to do, which I'm going to film. Connects to the, screws onto this valve here. I'm not a plumber, but let's turn you in and show you. You see a bit clearer. So that's the cold inlet and the drainage. That goes to the top of the worktop, at the top of the cupboard, through there, and then at the back of the washing machine, basically. So this is just another wee look on the other side, underneath it, which I want to see. Getting a better view of heater element connection. The sump, that's the sump pipe, that's the bottom of the drum basically. That's the drain hose that comes on through the pump, that grey pipe. Goes right through the back of the machine. So a view of the shock absorber. Another view of the brick at the front of the counterweight. It's quite difficult really to get the camera right into all the places, but I'll try to show the spindle if I could. Let me just make it out, that's where the belt goes on the back of the drum. You get the thermostat for the temperature of the water, so I know when to cut the element off and on. It's a motor bracket, so maybe zoom this out a bit. Speed controller on the motor must be there somewhere. There must be a wire for that, for the tachometer. That tells the module how fast the motor's going, so it can regulate the power going to it. So if the motor's under load, it gives it more power. When it's off load, it decreases the power, and that maintains a constant speed for the motor. But it needs to measure the speed of the armature in the motor, of the rotor, using a tachometer, a bit like a rev counter on a car. It measures the speed of the shaft, and then it tells the ECU module how fast the motor's going. So it might be some of the wires going to it, I'm not sure. And you've got an inductor, like a magnet within a coil, and that measures the as it pulses past, it sets up a voltage, reduces the voltage up to the ECU, which will recognise as speed, calculate speed up. Oh, some pictures of it, but I couldn't, so I'll just have to video it instead. I'll just screen save the video so I get a better look at that connection hose to the pump. Should we want it to lengthen at any time, that black clip would allow it to come off the pump housing if I want it to lengthen this drain pipe for any reason in the future. Right, so I've tucked the machine out of the way for now, so we'll get a wee bit of passage, tidy up this packaging, hoover the will be cut up, and then we'll get this machine into use. As I say, I do want to do a last wash video on the old machine before. So that's the drum now free to move on the suspension. is obviously the transit bolts are removed. It's the washer drawer. Then you've got all the settings, spin setting, temperature setting, program, power on and off. And that's pause, so you could pause during the wash. I think you could delay the, like set a timer or something as to when it works. I'm not sure, I don't really use the time delay. We've always been someone in the house when we're using machines, like, I don't think I'd ever go out the house and leave it on unattended. I tend to keep someone in when the washing machines are on, just in case anything happens, like flooding or anything. So that'll be the first wash, pre-wash. I've not even looked at the instructions yet, but my dad's having a wee look. But that'll be the main wash, maybe for the softener. So that's it for now. Door interlock. I'll probably just make this video a separate video altogether, then I'll do separate videos regarding the machines. I'll maybe make a wee series of videos. So I'll get a video of the last washing machine, the old one on its last wash, and then I'll get a video of me taking the old washing machine apart, taking it to bits, you know, strip it right down, take the motor out, take the drum out, take everything out, take the whole thing down to its components. It'll be done in a separate video. I don't know what order I'll do them in, but this, I might just make this video a standoff video, just one on it. So this will just be a video showing you how, you know, the introduction of our new washing machine. I might even show those that don't know where the transit bolts are or what they look like. I might give them well, at least I'll show them what it looks like on our washing machine. Even showed a wee bit the underside as well. What I might actually do is just keep this video open just now until we get this plumbed in, and I'll maybe show you how what we've done to plumb it in. You know, to hook up the these hoses. It's pretty easy, I reckon. There's not much to it. My dad normally does it, but that'll do for this segment of the video. This section of the video is just showing you on being unboxed, removing the transit bolts, showing you the insides, the underside, and I'll maybe do another video when it's actually in operation, when we're using it, once this is in service, but that'll be done after I've done a video with the old washing machine on its last run, its last service wash. I think when you're moving washing machines, big heavy objects like that, because of the shape, it's very awkward to manoeuvre. You've got to use a technique like walking it. So you tilt it on the corner, just sort of swing it across and then drop it down. Well, not drop it, just lower it down a bit, then lift it up again on the corner, swing it over. It's difficult. It's easier to show you, but I wouldn't try and lift it out, like, you know, dead weight it, lift it and move it that way, because there's nothing to grip onto it. It's a very awkward shape. They are heavy, 75 kilograms or something, but the shape makes it even harder. So there's a technique, and I don't know it. I just try and do whatever's easier in the confined space that I've got to manoeuvre. But it's best to just keep your back straight at all times. Tilt the machine back on its corner and just sort of swivel it on its corner in the direction you want to go, and then lower it down. Tilt it back again on the other corner, swivel it over, and just sort of, like, as I say, walk it. It's walking the machine back. It's a technique that's easier than to try and lift it as a dead weight. You know, if you do that, you'll do your back in for sure. But anyway, we'll hoover all this up. All this polystyrene, that's all the packaging that comes with it. So I'm just going to tidy up this packaging. It's always good to make sure that everything is out of the packaging, all the instructions, there's no any other wee components that comes with the machine. Just go through it all, make sure everything is out and it's just packaging to be thrown out.